All right, it's time. The draft is set. It is time for Echo versus Fire Flux Impunity in this best of 3. Let game 1 begin.
We're gonna start the draft here, where again, the bans, I kind of feel like will impact quite hugely, because again, we gotta see Fire Flux Impunity, what do they don't want to see going to Echo. Echo betting out the S's, pure respect. Leo, you called it.
They know.
The glue as well, the Novara and the 1-1 ban, I kind of feel like it is one of those staples. You just don't want to give it over to Echo or anyone in particular.
They know. They know. They're throwing back to Jakarta just 6 months earlier, right? They know that Apex 47 is back in an Estes, he's back in an Atlas, but I think they're willing to deal with that since Diggy is available. We're seeing here the Eve taken away from the already shaky mid lane of Fire Flux Impunity.
I mean, if we're talking about shaky mid lane, I'm not seeing a Valentina ban. I haven't seen a Joy ban either. None of the suppressions have been taken out at the same time. I think the draft is rather open right now, and not a lot of information is being given. Like, from Echo's side, it's clear that they're targeting key heroes that Fimp has shown before in their previous bouts. But Fimp, on the other hand, right, we're seeing the Nuvaria, we're seeing the Wama, they're just standard bans. This third one, Arlet as well, at least this gives us a little bit of info.
Actually, looking at Echo's bat, it does seem like they want to be able to win the box fights. Because again, I kind of feel like, Leo, you can touch on it a little bit more in terms of the box fights, because again, it's a lot going on in the Philippines. First picking, the Lancelot is going on, Carl Teasy, and we can see the reactions, man. This is crazy.
What allows for the box strategy in the Lancelot is it's not necessarily a box the way that a King's Calling is or a real world manipulation. It's more the thread, it's more the duct tape that keeps said box together, right? You're able to cordon down, finish off stragglers out of the box, or even just, again, take objectives. So it is what's stapling the box together.
I see. So it's putting it all together, whether it's inside or outside the box. But it's clear that even for Fire Flux Impunity, they know what they want. Yuzong as well as the Valentina. The Valentina very flexible, I agree, but the Yuzong being a very hard and direct target, specifically on the Sanford. The quick response coming in from Echo. The Kajan as well as the Kadita, they're expecting something. They're trying to deny ults.
What I like here, you know what? It feels like it's fire versus fire, because Echo, having the Lancelot, kind of flexible. You can play aggressive, you can be a little bit more passive, but here, Fire Flux Impunity, having the Yuzong, having the Valentina, kind of shows, in terms of range, we're going to play between mid and close range. We want to get into your face. Echo is like, yeah, you know what? If you want to get into our face, we want to do the same. Having the Kaja, having the Kadita, a lot of dive potential for both teams. None of them are shying away from a fight.
Coach, take that, Coach Treb. How much dive do you want?
Yes. Yes.
No, it's beautiful, because I think at the end of the day, right, it's also the amount of iframes they actually have to work around with, especially with the rough waves, not to mention the Lancelot naturally having inbuilt iframes in his ultimate, as well as the Thorn Rose. We do see the counter picks getting banned away. Coach Tic Tac really on the ball with this one. Getting rid of the Minstatar is a good option.
Right now, looking at the ban so far, it looks like Echo, again, when I was talking about the box, they're trying to make sure that there is no box. They want to roam around, because the Eve, the Minstatar, even in a way, the S's kind of force you to get into a very tight spot. And it looks like Echo, they want to move around the map quite a bit. So for Fire Flux Impunity, I kind of feel like if they can't control the map well, I kind of feel like Echo, they'll be a little bit too fast for Fire Flux Impunity to kind of like react with. So I kind of like this Joy ban, because letting the Joy over is going to be more difficult. There's too many people that it's very hard to catch.
I totally agree here. You know, ban out the Joy. The fact that they already have the Kaja means you don't want to pick it for yourself. And they also decided to get rid of the farmers from the side of Echo, knowing that if they decide to team fight harder, our pick-off composition isn't going to get that much value, which comes down to two things. Either A, we are going to see the style that's very reminiscent of Blacklist, getting the Florin rather early for the side of Fimp, or we might even see an opportunity for Diggy once again.
What I'm worried about is what Sanford is going to play. Coach Bad Gal Seth, Osprey, they've really just locked it down for this young XP laner, the Apex Predator himself. Because look, no Lapu, no Joy, stole away the YZ, no Fredrin even, you can flex that. What's 40 going to play?
I mean, there's a possibility. We've seen a lot of popular picks being Uranus.
The Tersla.
Oh, there it is!
I actually wanted to say the Tersla, by the way.
The Riz!
The Riz!
It's the Riz!
The Rizla! But now having the Claude here, here's the thing, man. The Claude is a very elusive hero. For now, looking at Flux Impunity, there's not a lot of catch. Whatever the roamer is going to be, it has to be someone that has the potential to stop the Claude. A Kufra, maybe?
Kufra, possibly. Franco is still technically on the table as well. It really depends on what the flavor of the month is for Fimp and how they want to kind of manage. Because let's keep in mind, even if the roamer is just focusing on the marksman, there's other lanes that they can actually affect, right? The mid lane in particular, where they have the Valentina. Yes, she can push out these waves, but when you have both Kadita as well as Kaja together, you're going to have to 2v2 this.
Looks like the timer has gone down. They have no more time left, and they're going to pick up the Franco, making sure that they're going to be able to lock down the Claude. But because this is the Franco, you could potentially lock down Carl TZ with the Lancelot. But again, looking at how this man moves, it's going to be very, very difficult. But overall, what do we feel about the drafts?
I'm liking how Echo answered the whole situation because Teresa has a lot of damage for an XP laner. I was thinking prior to the pick showing, maybe Uranus. You want one dead lane and then go for the attacks elsewhere. But no, Echo just said, yeah, all the dive, yes, all the damage as well. Like, there's very little peel.
Oh, yeah, very, very little peel. Oh my goodness! Even the audience predictions, we're seeing that 54% of the Turkish people are going to be leaning for Fimp, but the other 44% leaning towards Echo's side.
They're realists.
They are
They
realists
understand.
as well.
So to answer your question, Lafel, I think on paper, Fimp has the fundamentals, but Echo just has the grit and of course the experience and the skills to execute.
And now we're going into the game, the first match of the final series of the day. Echo going up against Flux Impunity.
All right, let's run it back one more time here. Because when I was looking for Sanford in the draft, he's very true to himself. He wants to fight, he wants to get those kills. I was thinking maybe even a Benedetta might have been a better option for him instead of the Terizla, because at the end of the day, Melissa is going to be able to kind of keep that Terizla back, keep him at a safe distance.
Oh, very interesting here, because I'm looking at the minimap and it looks like Yaoi is starting the orange buff early, so they really want to make sure that Carl TZ gets through his farming phase very, very fast, because right now he's already level 3.
That's right, and they're going fast enough away. Yaoi, the playmaker, barely gets away, and they also secure the Little Wonder. Now Apex is in trouble. They're going to pop the roamer from Turkey. One more hit. Oh, he forces the flicker, but Carl TZ still gets it, drawing first blood.
Man, those plays, that's just world championship level, man. Like every angle, there's just no way you can get out of that if you're in FIMP's position, right? Like what can Fireflux realistically do? Even if you flicker in the opposite direction, you're still going to die at the end of the day. But it's great to see that Carl TZ, he's not hungry for those kills. It's either they will come to him or somebody else will carry the game.
It's just been 1 minute and 30 seconds, but a lot has happened, and one of it is the fact that Carl TZ is on this landslide. It's actually starting with a Steel Lake Place, which usually we see Molten Essence or maybe even like a little bit of damage. But here, Echo, they're actually trying something very, very different, going up against Flux Impunity, which is very interesting.
My theory is Carl TZ understands that he is the thread. He is what keeps this all together. So if he's able to survive a little longer, then yes, maybe, because Molten Essence does give you HP, but Steel Like Plates, that's an ungodly amount of armor for such little gold.
Yep, they're going to get on top of the turtle right now, and I think this is where it gets a little interesting, because at the end of the day, Carl TZ isn't the one who's going to initiate. The rest of his team want to get aggressive.
Oh, Alien starting off with a Black Dragon form, and a penalty zone by Sanford. Turtle goes over to Echo, and they get the shield, they get the damage. Kazuya already down, Alien very low, just a fourth of his health, and they disengage.
Right now, starting the game, Echo already with a 1,000 goal lead. Might I remind you, it's only the phase of the game where everyone is getting their level 4 already with a 1,000 goal lead. That's actually quite a lot, and we can have to see the way that they're rotating. Medicuting is gone.
There's a hook by Apex, not much of a follow-up. Can't capitalize.
Yep. I love the fact that Yaoi is mirroring Apex here, but he's not directly, he's not man-to-man body defense. He's lingering behind him, and he's making sure that even if he does get the catch, there's an instant counter reaction if we do see Fireflux wanting to capitalize on these picks. And even so, at the end of the day, it's going to be about the neutral objectives. That's why we're seeing Carl TZ wanting to maintain his level lead against Kizue.
Right now, I want to open a conversation. The changes in the jungle, extra 5% gold in the jungle creeps Right now, Gideon, you're looking at Carl TZ's rotation, even invading Flux Impunity. What do you think about this?
So far, I think it's a great idea, right? Maintain this level lead. Give yourself the biggest amount of advantages, because fighting around these neutral objectives might not necessarily be the greatest thing in the world for Echo as soon as this game starts dragging out to the 8-minute mark, arguably even 12-minute mark.
And that's going to allow for him to make the most of that early pair of pants, right? Yes, you do pants now, but you can eventually still catch up. You can go farm so fast and push away Kazue and make it not matter at all.
Yeah, with 1.4k gold lead, I kind of feel like a lot of the gold lead is on Carl TZ, because even look at the level difference here, level 7 going up against level 6.
See?
Right now, again, I kind of feel like this is the snowball happening where you're taking away,
Whoa!
but Yawi pulls in.
Put the DJ down on Akura, and he could not respond. Quick pick off in mid.
Disgustingly good coming in from both Sanji and as well as Yawi, giving no opportunity to fight back here.
Ooh.
Now, as much as we say that Carl TZ has that gold lead, right, let's keep in mind that Sanji almost very recently, before that kill even happened, got his Clock of Destinies pre-4 minutes. That's an early Clock of Destinies. And then he finishes off the Magic Penetration boots as soon as he gets the kill.
I feel like what's crazy here is, like, across the board, everyone from Echo, they have a level advantage. Whatever rotation they've been doing, it's really helping everyone out. And I kind of just believe it's not them getting too big of an advantage. It's all about denying advantage. Sanji goes in.
Oh, and just takes out Kura like that. And now Kazue is in trouble. Apex 47, can he save his jungler? Yes, there's no. Sanford gets a kill.
Ah, what an uncanny rotation coming in from Sanford, right? He decides to sacrifice at least 90% of the gold plating just to make this happen on the bottom side of the map. Now, they have a very clear lead here, unless Apex,
They
gets pulled
continue
back.
the pressure. Apex still up, not enough damage. Benny says no.
Look at topside though. Yuzong, he's finally getting a little bit of gold for himself, but he's basically out of this game.
Right now, looking at the situation, I think Sanji is thinking about it. They just want to pull everyone away. Sanji gets pulled.
Apex with a hook and a bite down gives the kill over to Sunshine. Benny does get a push in exchange. Alien up top, forced to use a Black Dragon form. I believe he's losing that 1v1. Sanford's still here, and they're just going to try to clear these waves.
Yep, Sanford, he's just abusing his level lead. He's rotating faster, clearing faster in a matter of fact, and unfortunately, Alien is just one step behind.
Looking at the situation, it does feel like Echo, they're taking the calculated risk, because they're like, okay, right now, Sanji, just show your face. What we really want is the bottom turret. There's always a chance that Sanji will get pulled, but trading a life for an objective, a structure, I think it's always worth it. So I kind of feel like it is more of a calculated risk, where it's like, there is a risk one of us is going to die.
That's right. Heroes
but
respawn.
It's always good.
Stars don't.
Exactly. And now Sanford.
Very low. Sunshine goes and used the goal.
Wow.
But there really wasn't much. Couldn't take down Carl nor Sanford.
Couldn't react in time. Could not react in time. It
Negative synergy.
Yeah, I mean, it's negative synergy, but let's not forget that Sanford, technically he shouldn't be here. Like, even for Fireflux, they recognize that, okay, they're going to lane swap right now, but no, all of a sudden Sanford shows up at the top side, and now the fight.
Oh no, Kura! And he does help out to get a kill, but Alien is going to fall, and eventually that's 2 for Echo. And here, an attempted steal. Oh, Carl TZ does eventually still get it. No, wait! Kazue secures!
I gotta say, I'm still looking at what happened just now at top. I have to look at it back, because I kind of feel like it's a very interesting interaction where the go away is actually pushing Carl TZ towards the wall. So the Iron Hook, even though it did connect, but it was like, no, you can't move because you're stuck against the wall. So I was like,
so all sorts of movement is stopped by go away.
Yeah, so that's what I was like, huh, interesting. A little bit of a negative synergy, but it looks cool. It looks awesome.
I mean, there's a bunch of these, right? We have seen even during C games that Kufra is able to kind of shorten the distance if he starts buffering the ability. So at least we know the interaction is very dependent on displacement effects.
I've learned for you to do that, you need tough boots. And now Yawi with the conceal is looking to flank. Alien goes in. So far, everyone's just like, okay, let's clear the minion. If we see a path, we're going to go for it. If not, then it's all right. reset, try to find resources somewhere else.
Right now, Fireflux, they're going to have to take a back foot on a lot of these objectives here. Echo is really far ahead. It's 7 minutes, about to turn 8, with a 4.5k lead. And especially at this level of competition, at an international tournament, that is a gigantic lead, especially for their laners, right? Out-leveled, out-gold. Even if you want to go for these one individual plays, it might not necessarily fall in your favor.
Look at this, Turkish Delight getting set up. All 5 members here hiding in that bush near the purple buff. Not gonna lead to much, because I think Echo knows. Carl TZ did not overextend here. Gonna attempt one. Here's a pull right in the purple buff. Apex 47 popped by Sanji. That's a man down for the Turkish squad.
And right now, just with that one loss, Echo is looking like they can push forward.
Oh! DPZ, that's a deep penalty zone, plus a blazing duet. That's already 2 down in that single engagement, plus a push by Echo.
Beautiful. Sanford literally waits for the very last second. It looks like he's about to touch the ground before he flickers.
I think that's an EXP laner's wet dream.
Yes, it was definitely my wet dream for sure. I'm going to be thinking about that tonight.
Given the Kadira, it's very wet.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! I mean, it's some hot stuff here, but let's keep in mind that Echo, every single move that they've made, they forced something out of Fimp. Going into the purple buff. Oh, we managed to get Kazue's retribution. Now he can't fight for the neutral objective. We go deeper in. Early rotations coming in from Sanford to guarantee the lead for Benny QT as well as Carl TZ. And now look at this. All of that early game setup, making sure that this Lord is basically impossible for Fimp to even get close.
I gotta say, man, from the early stages of the game up until right now, every single bush, it feels like it's Echo's bush. Every single time you want to check for vision, every single time you have the attention of finding farm, you're gonna get punished. And I think that is that's the biggest difference maker here, because Fireflux Impunity, every single time they're moving, they're gonna get caught.
Yeah, I think Echo here is making the most of this 9k, almost 10k gold lead.
Oh
They are translating this financial advantage into space. Because again, they have better face checking. They have better vision, given the extra defensive items that they're rocking, compared to Fimp, who has to very safely rely on the hook.
Boy, Yaoi, he loses out his flicker here, so that's one tool gone. Now, maybe Fimp can do something.
Oh, Black Dragon 4 by Alien. And there's Muddles dropped in. Very low, forced to use the rough waves on out. He does survive using the Petrify as well. Here comes Alien, and here comes the Clapcap from the Turkish squad. And Sanford very low. There's the damage, and he goes down. Sanji as well. Sansan is down. Traded out for Alien. And look at this, the fight down by Apex. And there's another hook. The Turkish are going insane. That's 3 down already. Make that 4. The GOAT has fallen. Fireflux Impunity on fire.
This is why every single time we see this Turkish Delight, their version of the Ube, their version as Junior Blacklist, they know how to high ground defense like no other.
Yo, shout out to Apex 47. We're gonna check back the replay.
Hookman.
Not just Hookman, man, but he saved the ult for Benny QT, because look at this, Apex 47, the green light, he still has his ult, he's saving it. He's like, wait, there's one member missing. Cross is winning, but look at his Benny QT, he was shut down, he was suppressed. After that, it's game over, man.
He literally said, nothing personal, kid. Flickers behind him just to get the bloody hunt down. And this is just raw preparation from the side of Fireflux Impunity, right? Great preparation. They know the habits of Echo.
I just gotta say, man, just now the goalie was almost like, what, 10K? Now it's 4.4.
Cut in half.
Cut in half. That's how big that team fight was.
I mean, it's huge shutdowns all across the board. Altizi ended up dying there. Sanford ended up dying there. More importantly, Sanji ended up dying there.
Dude, look at the Lord advantage. Negative 3.6. Negative 3.6. I mean, sure, they got a lot of push, and that is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but this does show that Fireflux Impunity now, they're breathing in life a bit.
Yep, I think that's step 1 in maybe a 4 or 5 step process. Grand Theft Purple here committed by Carl TZ. That's 1 charge, pleading guilty. Given that, 10 seconds away from this Luminous Lord, I think a penetration is in check, given that Fimp have yet to take one turret, so they still need to work on their waves.
Well, let's keep in mind, the last time we saw Echo actually push it and lose out that high ground fight was all because, well, Yawi, he did have his flicker available, but everybody else, their battle spells were not ready to go, so they couldn't force out the play. And with Yawi not catching somebody with a Divine Judgment means that they had to pull back, but they were confident. That's when we see Flux Impunity start abusing them.
Whoa.
And now, playing the map on their side, calculating it down to the very last pixel. Well done as they claim more gold and scavenge this game back.
Honestly, I like it because I kind of feel like taking the Lord now would be very, very risky, so might as well take a safer objective. And I kind of feel like they want Echo to push in because as we saw just now, they have the potential of countering. They have the potential of actually making or forcing mistakes from Echo. So they want this.
Early concealed by Yawi, Lord trampling in, and there's a flicker!
Why?
Apex pulls just the same! And Alien survives along the way! A man down for Echo! They still have the Lord, but Fimp already looking great in this defense.
That was, I don't know what to say about
Was
that.
that not his cleanest hook?
It was
The cleanest save?
It was one of the cleaner ones, but it looked so it looked like it went right through Yawi, and then he
Dude.
walked right back into it.
Don't tell me you feel cheated, man.
Oh, no, not just yet.
right.
Not until we see the replay in slow-mo. One more
right.
time.
All right. Just messing with you. But yeah, Leo, like, that was an amazing defense.
It was. And yeah, they did lose 2 inhibitors, but in the end, I think Flux Impunity is happy to at least get something along the way. Here's another instant replay. All right, you asked for it.
Okay, here we go this time. Let's see my old eyes can catch this in time. So we do see Yawi actually flickering forward. Yeah. Oh! He dashes into the hook right at the end. If he just didn't dash, it would have been totally fine.
You have good eyes, by the way.
Thank God.
Very, very good
This
eyes.
just speaks of how well Apex understands the physics of the Iron Hawk, but now Yawi looking for revenge. Oh, Black Dragon formed by Alien. Not gonna lead to much here. This is not a good engage.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to worry about. Still 70 more seconds until the next Lord comes back up. So I think even for Fimp this time, they can just wait it out, get their cooldowns back online, and then look to fight. Because again, no inhibitors, so you can just wait for the waves to push into them.
Right now, we're living in the moment, but let's look into the future, right? Like, what are both teams looking for right now? Because it is very clear here that Yawi has been, I would say, the linchpin of getting any of those engages, except for that one moment when Sanford, with the flicker, crazy engage. But again, it's like, they want to engage, they want to start something. Flux Impunity, what are they looking for?
Personally, for me, I think a lot of this comes down to the conditioning, right? Flux Impunity, they understand how Echo has been moving, how their general play styles are going to look like. And considering that it is that step-by-step process, all you got to do is figure out what step is Echo on right now. Yawi has tried multiple times, so keep your eyes specifically on Sanji or Sanford. They might look to make one of the bigger plays here for this next fight.
And that just translates into the ecosystem, right? You have to understand where you are on the food chain.
Yup.
And right now, Echo is still on top of the food chain, but slowly but surely, Flux Impunity are crawling back up. And here they understand the dynamics. We still have to stick to the Turkish delight altogether now. And I think the way that Kazo is positioning himself, he might actually want to contest. You wouldn't do this. You wouldn't hide yourselves here if you weren't going to contest.
Fimp is walking up here. They know that maybe if somebody overextends, they could get a pick, but they know that they can't take a full 5v5 so deep outside of their base. They might as well just go back, wait until it starts pushing into them. Remember, they still have the Melissa on their side. Their high ground defense, honestly, is not that bad.
Yeah, right now, actually looking at the situation, 3 straight Lords in a row. Flux Impunity, they let Echo to, oh, I love this. I wanted to talk about this, but freezing the lane in your own base. I love this because you're forcing Echo to come in and you're actually stacking your own minions, but now that the minion is coming in, Echo, how will they start this fight?
Oh, that's the minion. Big Lord coming in. Pura going for the pull. Alien stacking the Shah Essence. Here comes the Black Dragon form. Yawi with the conceal. Playing footsies with the rest of the Turkish squad. Oh, and they put Sanji down very low. Alien still up. Sustaining. They're going to lose an inhibitor here. Alien all the way in. Deep behind enemy territory. All the while Easy just dashing on through. Making a signature right inside their base. Alien's going to fall here with a blazing duet by Ben Cutie. That's a man down for Flux Impunity. And they're still here. It's not like Echo is in full health though. Sanford very low. Does have an immortality. That's a disengage. The Turkish have defended.
I mean, they've defended for now, and I gotta say it's very impressive. Carl TZ goes in, didn't actually hit the damage onto Sunshine. Looking at the base, it's very dangerously low, but even Echo, they're like, we have 9k gold lead, but why can't we go in?
No. This is all Fimp right here. Alien bought a ridiculous amount of time, and more importantly, got the passive out of Sanji out as early as possible, including the rough waves. We did, as expected, see Sanford try to make the play, but the follow-up damage from Sanji was not there. He already expanded all of his abilities, and Benny QT is just getting body blocked time and time again by either Kazue or even for Apex, because again, Apex, he's holding that bloody hunt for if Benny QT oversteps his boundaries.
At this point, man, I gotta say, it is time for Echo to kind of like show their mental fortitude, man, because at this point, you've been trying for quite a while. You got a lot of gold on you. This is one of those situations where you could tilt, where you're like, okay, come on, what else do I have to do?
And at some point, this all-in dive comp is going to hit a ceiling. And I think so far, Flux Impunity have figured out that ceiling. They're like, all right, they can only do so much, especially inside their base.
Absolutely, especially when they're playing a traditional front to back, right? You hit the front line, and as soon as you get rid of them, you move in towards that back side. Now, looking at Sunshine's items earlier, he is in a very good position. He can chunk everybody from the side of Echo. He is a problem that Echo needs to answer almost straight away. And if Fimp is able to kind of stagger the abilities, force the resources on different sides of the map, they have a very good opportunity to take a full 5v5 outside of their base.
You were talking about positioning, man. Look at the positioning of Sanji right now. Sanji and Yaoi, they're waiting. They're waiting for someone to try and get this push and then try to burst them out very, very fast. Speaking of which,
oh no,
Fim has been letting go of the lore so far. Will they do the same for this one?
Oh, well, I think Carl TZ knows. Carl TZ knows that they're going to go for it quick, and that Fimp will know that they will go for it quick, but just the same, the Magic Sentry didn't spot G and Wei. They didn't spot this duo from mid, but look at this. Looking for an engage. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, flickering, and the doorway, they punish the playmaker. Yaoi is down. I repeat, Yaoi is down. Alien does draw a line going in straight, but Echo secures the Lord. Oh.
Apex looking at Sanji, and right now, Sanford goes in!
Penalty zone for 4! Make that 5! Apex falls! And that's gonna be 1 immortality up. Sanford does pay the price. Apex go down. Benny QT and Carl TZ deep behind enemy territory. And here down goes Sunshine. Benny QT gets 2K.
No, that's so unfortunate. Finn played that so well. They got everything out of Echo, but at the very end, that split second of thinking, I could turn this around, cost them the game.
Echo takes game 1.
Oh,
what
my goodness.
A first game in a best of 3, where again, a lot are eyeing at Echo to win this one. But again, they were sweating. That was a very hard game, and I gotta say, Flux Impunity, if they do the same thing for game number 2, maybe with a different draft, dude, I'm thinking yesterday the third game went all the way. This one is not impossible.
It really isn't impossible, man. I mean, you gotta give it a Flux Impunity. Their defense is impeccable. They've done more than enough research on the world champions, and they've definitely caught on to a couple of few habits. You could see during the Lord Dance that even they could recognize that, hey, there is a possibility of a backdoor. There is a possibility that Benny QT is just waiting for them. And the adaptations that we saw from Echo, you know what, Benny? Make sure that you're nearby the Lord. Don't try and go for this backdoor just yet. Leave it to both Sanji and as well as Yaoi. We can make it happen. We need to rush down this Lord when we find it.
I just gotta say, a lot happened just now, Leo.
Yeah, they figured out the fact that, all right, it looks like Fimp is willing to trade. Maybe we should do it. I think that's what they did with Yaoi. They understood that, yeah, 50-50, he could die if we don't get it in. And Apex has been very hot with his hooks and his bite downs. And that's the Echo Gambit. That's what they played on, and they got away with it, especially after the 4-5-man penalty zone.
Sanford is a different beast, man. But I gotta say,
That's 40.
Yaoi's his engage on the Melissa, it honestly was a lot, because when he went in, yes, he died. Yes, the Melissa was able to kill him, but the crazy thing is, Melissa used her Inspire. So by the time Yaoi died, and then Echo, they want to re-engage, Melissa does not have that crazy lifesteal, does not have that crazy attack speed, making it so that they won't have enough damage. So even though, yeah, he died, but I kind of feel like that is a worthy trade.
That's the Echo Express.
The Echo Express?
He
I
just
mean,
just chugged in.
ooh,
Ran him over.
Ran him over is definitely, you know, a word I would describe this overall play style, right? Because again, this particular composition, it's all about playmaking. It's all about finding those opportunities to turn the tables against their opponent. And like you mentioned, LaFell, yes, the Inspire was a very big deal. They got the ult as well as the Inspire, so not only could she not play defensively, but couldn't turn the tables when the time was right. And honestly, Flux Impunity, they set it up perfectly until that final bad call of maybe we could turn this around.
Right now, we got to look at the MVP of the game, and the MVP has to go over to Sanford. Honestly, a lot deserving for this young man here. Look at him. He's so happy, but at the same time, he's like, oh, shucks, guys, come on. I only got like 4 or 5 people twice.
Just another day. Just another day.
It's just like, I don't know. I do this every single day. It's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal at all. Looking at his build as well, he's making sure he's a tanky boy, but makes sure that he has the Queen's Wings just to ensure that he lives longer, especially in those clutch moments. It's like, oh, I'm low. Oh, 5 of you are getting a little too close together. Now we unleash the penalty zone with a flicker.
Maybe we should just all start building more Blood Wings.
I don't
Or rather,
know.
Queen's Wings. This is Queen's Wings.
Yeah, here's the thing, man. Queen's Wings is amazing because he's basically the tenacity built in an item. And
Tenacity plus, it's something
It's
else.
a bunch of health.
There's tenacity, there's damage built in,
Yeah.
there's skill vamp, spell vamp built in,
yeah, here's the thing, right?
Well, conditional spell vamp.
HP.
Yep.
Yeah, here's the thing. That's what I want to touch on. It's an emblem in an item plus much more because like you said, the healing that you'll get is insane, making it so that he can frontline for quite a lot. Right now, we're looking at the MVP highlights, and look at this. Carl TZ got pulled, but he's like, the Melissa's go away actually says, stay right where you are.
I wonder if he had the tough boots at that point in time. That'd be interesting to double check as well, but we'll figure it out later. In the meantime, I think what we can talk about for sure is the fact that Flux Impunity's defense, especially against Echo, when they're trying to close out these games, probably caught Echo off guard, right? I mean, look at these motions. Alien survives for so much longer than he absolutely should. Melissa gets a free reset off of that, and then right here, this play. Yaoi tries to get everything out of him. Alien tries to engage, but almost immediately after the big catch, keep your eyes on Sunshine, right? He's chunking out everybody. It looks so very good until it isn't. The GOAT himself forcing everything out of him, and Sunshine decides, you know what? Maybe I'll try to turn it around on Benny.
Look at the difference of damage, man. That's what happens when you don't have your Inspire up. But again, you guys heard the reaction of me and Leo. That is one of those engages coming in from an EXP laner that makes it so that no matter what lane you play, all of a sudden you want to be an EXP laner.
I felt the 5-man penalty zone. I swear I could have gotten pulled in too. I felt my chair. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, same.
Just breaking the 4th wall almost instantaneously. Honestly, looking at the items so far, nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the ordinary. Let me just double check that one more time. Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary, but keep in mind that Carl TZ was taking a step back here. He's not looking for that raw damage. That's not his job. That's not his place. More importantly, he's making sure that he does go for the Thornmail just to make sure that he lives a little bit longer, making sure that the amount of on-hit damage is negated so that when he comes for the cleanup, it's going to be a little easier, even if we do see Sunshine have his Inspire.
Right now, honestly, looking at the itemization as well as the goal, I kind of feel like Flux Impunity, if they had a better fight, say in the mid stages of the game, right? Because again, we saw how Echo took control throughout the game. It's only during the final pushes where Flux Impunity were able to actually control what Echo wants to do. If for the next game it is not that one-sided going into the end of the game, perhaps it would be a game that I would say 60% Echo's still gonna win, but it's not like 70-80 just like just now.
It's not going to be a complete stomp. That's what we know for sure. We know if there's high ground defense from the side of Flux Impunity, they can hold on and really drag this out. I'm very curious to know what the mentality must have been like, especially after the first 2 attempts, right? Like, what were they feeling? Were they like, man, these guys actually know what they're doing? Because they were getting absolutely rolled in the early game, every single objective, and especially when you look at the monster gold stolen, right? 4,145 compared to 299.
That's what the Carl TZ farming pattern was all about. That's why he was deep into Kazue's farm as early as what, minute 2, minute 3. And now thinking about what game 2 might look like, right? 60-40, not gonna be a stomp.